What's going on, Wacky Cat? A lot of gamers are saying gaming is dying, gaming is dead. I have to agree to a certain extent. History is kind of repeating itself here. And they say, from the saying goes, those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. A lot of you whippersnappers may not know about this, but there was a gaming crash in 1983. And it lasted from 1983 to 1985. Why did the gaming crash happen? Well, before I get into that, I'm going to give you my brief opinion of what's going on here and why people are saying gaming is dying. And all of these are my theories. All of these are my opinions. Well, before I get into that, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. What I believe is happening here is gaming is not technically dying, but what I will say, gaming is oversaturated right now. There are, as crazy as it may sound, there are too many video games out. Way too many. And there's not enough time to play all of them, and it's overwhelming. Back to the gaming crash. Do you know one of the main factors of the 1983 to 1985 gaming crash back in the day was one of the main factors? It was too many video games. It was too many consoles. It was too many arcade games. It was overwhelming the public, and people wasn't willing to pay for every single game. It was just, and there's a thing, if you have too many choices, you tend not to choose anything. That's the reality of life. If there's too many choices, you get overwhelmed with just thinking about the choices. You don't even play or pick anything. So let me explain a little bit more deeper here. The reason I think that gaming, this history won't repeat itself, the 1983, and the times has changed. Everyone had to, back in 1983, had to spend their money on every single game. Thanks to Game Pass, in my opinion, and other streaming services of video games where you can download the game for a monthly fee, it has circumvented and stopped some of that pressure. Because now I don't have to physically get out of my house and find a physical copy of these thousands and thousands of games. Do you know that if we had to go get physical copies and digital copies, even though I'm still a physical copy guy, I have to say digital video gaming has saved the gaming industry, if you ask me. All this is my opinion, because do you imagine the headache it would be to have to get up, leave your house for every single video game you buy, and the enormous quantity of video games to pick which one? You wouldn't make a decision, and you'll buy a game and wouldn't like it, go return it, and it will be an endless cycle. Game Pass, in my opinion, and others, in PlayStation Plus and other things like that, have made it to where I can just pay a monthly fee and test these newer games out. That way, because there's so many of them, there's too many games. So that way I can test some of the games that I'm curious about, the newer games, on the gaming service, and I can go out and about to gaming places that sell video games and test them out. I wouldn't be completely overwhelmed. I can digitally look on my TV and get the game and pick and scroll through it, rather than go to a big store with shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves of video games. If digital and gaming service wasn't available, gaming, in my opinion, will be in big trouble. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Everyone is picky. You may love a game, I may hate a game. So if gaming services allow you to test the game, and if you don't like it, well, not my loss, not a big loss. I pay a monthly fee, but look at all these other games. And retro gaming is back. Everyone likes to go back in the day and play the old games, arcade games, the old 360, PlayStation 2 games, We love to do that. Thanks to digital, thanks to gaming services, we can go do that without having to go find this game to play. It would be virtually impossible for a lot of us to enjoy retro gaming right now if it wasn't for digital, if it wasn't for gaming service. This is why I believe gaming services like Game Pass are the future. And I believe there may be even more gaming services to compete. But the reason Game Pass and Xbox, in my opinion, is the cream of the crop is because they are a familiar face doing that. We know Microsoft, we know Xbox. So when they do something new, we're jump on board. But it's going to be harder, in my opinion, for a newcomer to come out the woodworks and start making a digital service. We don't really know you. A lot of people have tried, but we're not familiar with you. You never did video games before. You're just a new guy doing a service. If this wasn't the case, now, if we didn't have these, I wouldn't say gaming would be dead. And I don't think gaming is technically dead, but it will be in big trouble. It will be because that's what happened, because everyone had to physically pay for each and every copy. Digitally and gaming services allow indie companies to thrive, to at least have a fighting chance. Because if it wasn't for digital copies and gaming services, the AAA companies you wouldn't see nothing but the AAA companies. And a lot of these indie games are as good as a AAA developed game. So, thanks to gaming services, this is why, in my opinion, all these are my opinions and speculations, this is why Game Pass is so important, and Game Pass is winning right now. And more people are going to jump on board as the games increase, as the choices get harder to choose from. Because even, I'm not going to say any names, but even the AAA games, even the games that's tried and true that in the past have been great, we play them now and they're not that great. It's like, okay, it's the same thing, the same open world, and that is getting fatigued. We're getting fatigued with that. There's not a lot of evolutionary games out right now. There have been on the next gen console, Elden Ring. I'm predicting Starfield, Grand Theft Auto 6, and games like that. Those games we know are going to be evolutionary. But the other games have kind of been, the games we have now are not playing to the standards of the top tier, and that's going to cause, in my opinion, a little problem, because a lot of us we are craving for the cream of the crop. You got even pick a game like Skyrim, for instance. Skyrim, Red Dead Redemption 2, they're up here. The AI, the gameplay, the replayability. A lot of these games that come out, that mass produce different games, and different guys that keep making games, they're down here. Skyrim, a game that came out over a decade ago, is right here. And Grand Theft Auto 5 is up here too. But you have these newer games that's fluctuating, coming out every 5 seconds. That's right here. They're not even nowhere near the standard. And that's what's causing people to be like, okay, I had the caviar of gaming, and now you're giving me the sardines of gaming now. And that's going to cause a problem. So what's going to have to happen too is, in my opinion, my theory, a lot of these games are going to have to step it up. Games like Elden Ring, Plague's Tale have at least got somewhere near Skyrim's level and Grand Theft Auto 5 level and Red Dead Redemption level and games like that. They have got somewhere near that. So they're able to become the game of the year, to thrive, and to have a great reputation. Starfield, I'm predicting, will be somewhere near Skyrim, or may even somewhere be up top of Skyrim. Will be on that level. That's what we're looking for, and we're not getting that. We're getting, now a lot of us do like retro games, and I'm not saying just because the standard of your game is not as high as Skyrim, or I'm not saying it's technically a bad game, but a lot of us are expecting, we're kind of expecting the games, next gen consoles, new graphic cards on PC gaming. We're waiting for the next big thing, and we're getting a bunch of influxes of games that's not up to par. Now, there are games that we don't necessarily need to be up to standards. There are game developers that's making unique games like Stray, like these other indie games that are unique. So they don't necessarily have to be as the standard of Skyrim. If they can just be a unique type of game, then their standard can be raised too. As long, it's a new dynamic to this video game. This is never something we've never seen before. But you are having that too, which gaming services and digital games services are allowing us to test out and love. But you're having a lot of games that's coming out trying to be like the Skyrim, trying to be like, but they're not nowhere near it, and they're being called out. A lot of gamers right now, social media, we're calling out the games that's not up to par, and that's why a lot of gamers are saying gaming is dead. And I can't really technically say, oh, y'all absolutely wrong. In a way, I do kind of see where they're coming from, the people that are saying that, but I won't necessarily personally say that gaming is totally dead, is a wrap. I believe if it wasn't for digital, if it wasn't for gaming services, it would be. But gaming is thriving. But I believe in the future, if these games, if the influx continues, and these games don't step their game up, literally, no pun intended. If these games don't step their game up, far as you making it, because we're getting a lot of these open world games bare bones. We're playing the game and we're like, oh, wait a minute, your reputation was good, but now you come out with this game and you're the AI. I don't know if you notice, a lot of people are complaining about certain games, and I'm not going to say the name, that when they played the game, the open world was bare bones. Have you seen that? That's the standard, the Skyrim standard. That's the Red Dead Redemption standard that I'm talking about. The AI, we're getting to a point that we're starting, you can't really, I'm not going to say fool us, but we're starting to notice stuff now. We're starting to say, okay, wait a minute. This game, your next gen console, how is your new game that's coming on next gen console don't have no AI, the AI is horrible. The open world is no one's in the open world. Because we're comparing it to Skyrim. We're comparing it to the cream of the crop, to Red Dead Redemption 2, to Fallout game. That's what we're comparing it. That's the standard. And now if you come out, so now that's the elephant in the room, and that's maybe called out every single time now. That's why I believe gaming, that people are saying gaming is dead. The standard of your game is not nowhere near the cream of the crop. It's nowhere near it. If it was close, like Elden Ring and Stray and Plague's Tale, the game of the year candidates, and God of War Ragnarok, at least they're close to the Skyrims, close to these top tier PlayStation Grand Theft Auto 5. At least they're close. Now they're not above them or close, but they're close. Then you'll get a pass, and then the fans will revere you, we will cheer you on. But if you're coming out in these fluctuated games and you're still down here, then that's when it get oversaturated with just a bunch of games that's not up to par to our expectations. That's what's happening right now. I think gaming will thrive, though. I think developers will step their game up, but at the same time, it's going to take time now. Now we're going to have to, as fans, we're going to have to take a step back. And now these game developers may have to take more time making games. And though we're, because today we are complaining about, oh, where's the release date? Well, it's going to take a longer time for game developers to make these games up to par, like a Skyrim. That's why so many people are excited about a Starfield. That's why so many people are excited about a Hogwarts Legacy, because just by the trailer alone, we can see what their standard is. We can see their standard is going to be the standard up to par, at least up to par to what we're looking for. But when these other games come out and we see the trailer, you see the hype and all about it, and oh, it looks like, but then we actually play it, I'm like, okay, this game was all hype. You just hyped this game up, and it's being called out. Gaming is not dead right now. but it is changing. And in the future, if things don't change, far as your quality of the game, it's quality. It's always quality with gaming, not quantity. It could damage the gaming. It could, because it's happened before. Now, it didn't. The gaming crash of 1983 didn't last that long. But it has happened. Nobody was playing video games. Well, they were playing video games. Nobody was buying new video games. They refused to go play get this, because it was just too many games that wasn't up to par. The standard of gaming back in 1983, you had your top tier games, but nobody was, like your Pac-Mans and all these other games that was up here, but then everybody else was, the standard wasn't good enough, and you wanted to pay. I'm going to pay as much money to play Pac-Man and play this game that's not even close to Pac-Man's level. I'm gonna just keep spending my money like that. No, I need to see better quality gaming. I need to see a new dynamic in gaming. Either better quality, either you raise the bar, get close to the bar, or you put a new dynamic to the pot. All these random games, you just same old. You're not even close to the standard. We're not, 1983. They won't willing to play these games just like that. It's just overwhelming. All these games ain't up to par. Overwhelming games. I'll just stick to this one game. It will cause people not to. It will cause people not to try your new game out. It will cause people to lose trust, because the trailers, they're hyping all, but it will cause people to be, even if the trailer is, you spent a lot of money on the trailer, it looks spectacular, it will cause people to say, it's just the same old, it's hype. I'll just wait to the review. You want to get people hype enough for your game, for them to be so hyped and so excited that people go out and buy the game, rather than waiting for someone else to buy the game and then that someone else tell them how the game is. That's what's happening too, is where people are not that excited about certain games that's coming out. So they're not initially buying it. They'll just say, I'll just wait for the review to come out. I'll see the review first. You want everyone to be so excited that they just go ahead and trust you, and they go ahead and buy it and see it for themselves. Like, okay, this game looks awesome. I'm here, But a lot of people now say, I'm just going to wait for the reviews. I'm kind of I don't know if I trust this game going to be as good as they say it is. And that's what's happening right now. But I will say this, gaming is not dead. I believe it is evolving. It is evolving to something else. And Game Pass, in my opinion, is circumventing it, and other ways and other means of circumventing it. But gaming is doing good. Thriving somewhat, but it is a overfluctuation of video games. Well, anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for listening. Thanks you for watching my theories, my personal opinions on stuff. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Wacky Cat, and I'm out.